Bienvenue, motherfuckers. Thank you for bearing with me, and welcome to part 2 of Jimmy Page in 1984, courtesy of theheartofmarkness.com, your place for Led Zeppelin and Jimmy Page. I'm Mark. Welcome. If this is your first time with us, hit stop and go back and listen to another episode. This is jumping into the middle of 1984, and you will not get the full Marky experience if you jump in now. In fact, it may lead to madness. So, where were we? Jimmy Page had just jammed with Yes back on June 24th, 1984 in Germany. And, one thing that I didn't play for you guys that I am going to now was back in early June, before the Yes gig, Jimmy did that show with Jack Bruce, Charlie Watts, and Ian Stewart's band for the Alexis Corner benefit. And I mentioned it, but I didn't play any songs from it because I'm a bad person, and, I do my best. But so to remedy that, I'm going to play a song, the first song of the set, called Bring It On Home. Not that Bring It On Home, the other one. Another one. With Jimmy on guitar, Jack Bruce on bass, Charlie Watts on drums, Ian Stewart on piano, and a bunch of other fucks that I mentioned earlier in the last broadcast that aren't famous. It's really great. It's a radio broadcast. I think it's an AM radio broadcast, or whatever they call it over yonder. Medium wave or whatever. So it's in mono, I think. I don't know. In any case, it's a radio broadcast, but it's not a spectacularly high def. But it's professional, and it's good, and you get to hear Jimmy and Jack Bruce together. So here we go. Jimmy Page, 1984. Bring It On Home. Enjoy.
On stage tonight, we've got 10 people, in fact, who've been associated with him throughout his career, from the early 60s right through into the 80s. I'll hand you over to the band. Thank you.
Mr. Les Eastham, Chairman of Nottingham Jazz, speaking a week last Tuesday evening, the 5th of June at the Palais Ballroom, Nottingham, just before the start of a rather special concert. And now, exclusive on Radio Trent, and recorded by our outside broadcast unit, we present the Alexis Corner Tribute Concert.
Your 24-hour friend with the music in your life. Radio Trent and you together.
Ruby Turner, ladies and gentlemen, Ruby Turner.
There we go. What'd you think? I really enjoy that song. In fact, it's one that I, keep on my playlists and listen to all the time and have for years. Jimmy didn't take any leads in that, but it's okay. We could hear lots and lots of tasty licks in the background, and I really enjoy it. It sounds like he was having a good time, and the rest of the band was great. I mean, you can't go wrong with Charlie Watts on drums. So, that was the Alexis Corner benefit on June 5th of 1984. We've already dealt with the jam he did with Yes on the 24th that month. So let's hop into July, up to July 12th, and we'll move on over to Italy to the Pistoia Blues Festival, which was that year dedicated to Alexis Corner and perhaps another benefit for him. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember, to tell you the truth. But in any case, he didn't play with Jack Bruce this time. He played with Ginger Baker, bringing together all three members of Cream within the same year. Remember, he played with Clapton back in February of '84 with no recording of that? Yes. See? So he played with the entire band of Cream over the course of 5 months. Now this track, this show, the Pistoia show, is interesting in that Jimmy is playing really badass. He has a really aggressive tone. And there's a wonderful article that were written by some Italian musicians that I ran through Google Translate. And apparently they were in a hard rock band, of which I guess there weren't many in that area of Italy. And the promoters of the show actually used their amplifiers, the band members' amplifiers, for the gig because they didn't have enough horsepower for what they were dealing with. So these guys, who were essentially kids, or guys in their 20s, got to go to the blues festival, got to meet Jimmy Page. Jimmy played with their amplifiers, and said it was amazing. Said Jimmy couldn't have been nicer. They said his guitar tech was an asshole, which maybe he is. I guess you'd kind of have to be if you're Jimmy Page's guitar tech. But in any case, they had some really nice little anecdotes that were a little hard to follow sometimes, being run through machine translation. But one of the things they said was that Jimmy was drinking an iced bottle of vodka throughout the show. And if you look at pictures of the show, he is definitely swigging from an iced bottle. Now, I'm not sure if he's downing a bottle of vodka. That sounds, that's pretty rock and roll. And he's not playing like he's shit-faced. Given that it was July in the Mediterranean, it was probably just a bottle of water. But whatever. You can see the picture from the Pistoia Blues Festival on the website. It's him in that kind of rising sun T-shirt with the hair down in his face. There are also other pictures of him online from that, including one of he and Rory Gallagher, which is great. The two of them together. They did not play together. I don't believe they ever played together, but they did meet, and I guess they got on well. And I'm going to play you a track from this blues festival, and it's interesting. I wish I could play you Train Kept A-Rollin', which the band did, and it's just horrible. It's horrible because the band didn't know it. They just tried to wing it, which you typically can with Train Kept A-Rollin'. It's not that big a deal. But Jimmy goes in and plays, and his tone is just badass. But the bass player doesn't know it. It's just it's a shambles, and it's too much of a shambles to even listen to. Just to listen to Jimmy. So I'm just going to play an instrumental that they did together. It's a blues jam. It's Ginger Baker on drums, which is great to listen to. I love Ginger Baker's playing in general. and it's a little long. So if if it kills you, fast forward. So that's funny. You hear that? That's me. There we go. Sorry. I overran the time allotted in the next track, which I had recorded last week. Started playing, so there's a little Easter egg there. You can delve into it and prove that I'm in the Illuminati. Now, here we go. Like I was saying, instrumental Pistoia Blues Festival, Ginger Baker, Jimmy Page, bunch of other dudes. Enjoy. Thank you very much for bearing with me. This is a rough one this week, but we'll get through it. And we're back. I hope you enjoy this stuff. I know that this is a little more esoteric than a straight up Led Zeppelin podcast, but as we discussed earlier, there's already one of those. There doesn't need to be two of them. So this is a little more in-depth and, let's call it a graduate class for the cool kids. We're better than everyone else. That's right. So, we're on the downhill slide now. We're in July. He played the Pistoia Blues Festival, after which he went to Ginger Baker's Olive Farm and had a lovely dinner. A little later that month, he hooked up with his buddy Roy Harper again for the Cambridge Folk Festival on the 28th of July. And he played two sets, the afternoon and the evening sets, and they're both different. And again, I've had recordings of these for years that I never really listened to because I was a kid and it wasn't that compelling. I wanted to hear Heartbreaker. And the recordings, audience recordings, as if you don't know, you're probably learning. Unless they're unbelievably stellar in quality, you kind of have to adjust your ears. They're called bootleg ears and grade them on the curve. And once you do, it's perfectly fine. I mean, these are historical documents that would otherwise just be completely lost in the ether if somebody hadn't had the presence of mind to violate the law and record it. So let's hear it for the lawbreakers. Now, for the Cambridge Folk Festival, there was video shot because there is video of Jimmy playing, which I think it was very, very briefly released by Roy Harper on British video, the PAL videotape, and then quickly not distributed anymore. I believe he even had a live album with some tracks with Jimmy that was discontinued. Jimmy is really protective of his stuff, and I think he just put the kibosh on it. But hopefully one day this stuff will all come out again. In any case, I'm going to play for you the song Hangman, which I had mentioned before, from the Cambridge Folk Festival. It's absolutely brilliant. I hope you can understand the lyrics well. You should be able to. I found a clear recording of it. And if you're driving, enjoy it. This is some cool stuff. It's not really a rock song, but Jimmy puts in nice, tasty licks. It's a great song itself. So, Jimmy Page, Roy Harper, Cambridge Folk Festival, July 28th, 1984. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy all of this. I do. So, here we go.
Last night I wasn't sleeping. It was my last. I just been lying thinking, reliving all I had. My family and friends have left. I share it all lost. Now I'm standing in a death cell. The sands of time fall fast. My poor heart is thumping. My head is filled with blood. Feel that rope around my neck. You know it's there for good. I know that I'm innocent. No one's understood. Now I'm standing on death cell to be murdered in cold blood. We are creatures of darkness, tale of time. Creatures of darkness. What is it like? tomorrow sleepless as you. I can't believe my eyes. My heart is full of lies. That you decline and get the job. Pulling off my head. Leave me kicking in the darkness. Splatter in the walls of blood. Oh, hangman, oh, hangman. You're working in the shade. For creatures of the jungle, whose message is displayed in graphic tones of light and act. All down the blade. You're the creepy little monkey who murders to be free. In about 6 minutes time, I'll be thrown into the lime by the screws who dug my grave. Never felt ashamed. You threw me in still breathing as they covered me in slime. Put me on a map in the governor's office. A number with no name. We are creatures of darkness. Killers of time. Creatures of darkness. It's true as I stand here, I would wish to be untied. To rip those lies clean out your throat, and my death might somehow be justified. There's no unconsecrated ground in my heart or in my mind. In a world full of snakes, and I'm buried in a vicious lie. Creatures of darkness, tales of time. Creatures of darkness.
Hey there. Sorry that cut off so unexpectedly and suddenly. It's kind of a buzzkill, but I couldn't find another version of that. I looked and looked and looked. I mean, I know, and I just couldn't in time. So it cuts off suddenly, and it sucks. So I apologize for that. But it's a great song. It's just as good on the album. So get the album. You'll enjoy it. So that was Hangman, Roy Harper, Cambridge Folk Festival. And that's about it for Lonesome Cowboy Jimmy wandering around playing like a, what are they called? Minstrel? Bard? Anyways, that's July. In August, he and Jimmy Page and Phil May and other members of the band The Pretty Things, which were a second-tier kind of British Invasion band that were then signed to Swan Song Records but never really took off, They all went to Ibiza in Spain, and apparently at the Heartbreak Hotel did a set together, probably just Elvis jams or something. But at this time, Page and Plant were not really around much. Jimmy had played in December of '83 with Robert on stage, and they did the Honey Drippers together, which is kind of why they were back together at this point, post Honey Drippers. So they were in Spain. There's not a recording in circulation anyways. It may be preciously hoarded somewhere. But I would like to hear it, as I imagine you guys would too. So that's all I have for August of '84. Moving into September, that's when we're finally getting to The Firm. Around September through November '84, Jimmy's at his own studio, Sol Studios, with Stuart Epp Engineering, recording the Firm album. And Stuart Epp says it was the most professional recording sessions he's ever dealt with, and that Paul Rodgers would sing live, and they would pretty much use that take. So it was a really tight professional unit, and they were good. I just it doesn't do it for me. So that takes us through autumn of '84 is The Firm, and I'm not playing anything from that because I'm going to have a whole episode on The Firm, and we'll do that. But I do have some Firm goodies coming up. Oh God, that sounds terrible. Anyway, moving into November, Jimmy and Roy Harper appear on the British TV show The Old Grey Whistle Test, and that is embedded on heartofmarkness.com. You can see that whole clip. It's pretty good. I guess Jimmy and Roy stayed up all night partying, like rock stars, and I can't say that it shows. They look all right, but the interviewer is really kind of adversarial and dismissive and a little condescending. Because, if you remember back in the early 80s, the 70s bands were viewed as old dinosaurs. In the UK, not so much in America. We kind of stuck to our rock and roll, but the Brits were definitely moving on with all the horrible, horrible music that came with New Wave. So the guy, and he was told, the announcer, the interviewer, was told by his boss to, kind of shit on him a little bit. And they do, and he does. And, they don't have any of it. But it's enjoyable. We get to hear another version of Hangman, and then they play a little bit of Same Old Rock. It's great to see. And that's on the 16th of November. And a mere 8 days later, on the 24th of November, Jimmy and Roy Harper play, I believe, their last concert together at the Rock Garden, at Covent Garden in London. And I don't have any recordings of that, although I imagine it was pretty much the same stuff that we hear. But on the 29th of November, just 5 days after that last concert with Roy Harper, The Firm debuts in Stockholm, Sweden, and Jimmy Page is on another path. So we're on the first Firm tour at this point. And there are tons of recordings of it. In fact, there's really good soundboard recordings from the beginning of the tour that, if you look at, Dime a Dozen or something, one of the torrent sites, the trading sites, you can find them. They're good. And if you like The Firm, you should definitely check them out. So that takes us through November '84. Home stretch, everybody. Here we go. On December 9th, 1984, The Firm played at the Hammersmith Odeon in London, and that was filmed by MTV and edited down to a half hour, which was played on MTV. And if you're old like me, you may remember that concert. Well, the whole thing was recorded, and the whole thing is viewable on YouTube, or you can just go to heartofmarkness.com, and I haven't got it embedded there. So Jimmy's went from the Arms concert to The Firm. That is 1984. He played with a lot of folks. He did a lot of things. He was a very busy boy, and I hope you enjoy what I've presented. I hope you enjoy the boys playing. I kind of had to reevaluate this period because, as I said earlier, in my younger days when all I was looking for was Heartbreaker and kick-ass rock and roll solos, I was not digging this period. I guess I wasn't sophisticated enough. That's not to say that, he didn't make some poor choices, but he made it through it. '84 was a much more interesting year than I would have thought, and I hope you guys agree with me. Next time, we'll go with something a little more popular and a little more mass appeal. We'll do a discussion of the new Led Zeppelin, newly released Led Zeppelin bootleg from Seattle, 1975, March 21st. Soundboard recording, one of the holy grails that people have been waiting for because it's, one of the best, arguably the best show overall of the 75 tour. And it's really, really good. You guys are going to dig it. We'll dig into that, and we'll be back to the good old Led Zeppelin that y'all love. But thanks for digging through the depths of Jimmy Page's career here, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Quick shout out. I got to say thank you to the wonderful donor, the first person who donated to Heart of Markness. Thank you so much. It made my day, made my week, and if you're of a mind and want to buy me a cup of coffee or a beer, I have a donate link at the bottom of the post. And you don't have to. It's a free podcast, no worries. But if you want to, I'll be happy to have it. So thanks very much, guys. Next time, Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page, 1984. We made it. See you later. Wait a minute. I forgot. I promised you guys some more Firm. So what I have here is I have a jam of the Paul Rodgers song Boogie Mama, and it's just a basic studio jam. It's really rough and ready and really, really fun, and I'm just going to play this. There'll be no more talking after it. The podcast is over. This is just a little supplemental bonus. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for bearing with me, and I'll talk to you next time.
She jumps on the table. It's a sight to see. Miles families in a family. Mama, she's a swinger. She don't know when to stop. When she hears the music, she's gonna bop till she drops. She jumps on the table, sight to see. Defines families in a family. Mama, she's a swinger. She don't know when to stop. When she hears the music, she's gonna rock till she dies. Oh, with mama, she's gonna be there. All the world's got to know. Mama wants to go there. All the world's got to show. She looks like chicken and she